Alrighty, folks. Welcome to the first official RNG Leaders Call. This is going to be a slightly, not necessarily different format than what I've been doing with our team calls for the last, I don't even know how long I've been doing team calls now. But obviously, these calls are no longer opened up to the entire team because I saw a trend happening over the last 6 months where the people who actually showed up to the live calls are really the only people who are dedicated. The people who are showing up to the live calls are the ones. I just realized this microphone is nowhere near my face. Is that better? All right, so I realized that the people who have been showing up to the team calls are the ones who are dedicated. You guys are the leaders. That's why we made the leaders group. That's why we're doing this 90-day blitz starting on Monday. So first of all, I thank you guys for sticking through this whole thing. You know, our call schedule has been up and down and switching days, and sometimes they're late like tonight, but you guys show up anyway, so I really appreciate you. So these team calls are specific for our leaders group, and I'm literally coming into this thing after a crazy busy day. I booked massage clients and beach body work, and I double booked myself back to back to back till right now is the first time I've kind of sat down and went, okay. But this is a sneak peek into what these 90 days of Blitz should feel like. You should be busy. You should not just be busy. You should be productive because there's a visible difference between the two. So today for me, even though it was insanely productive, I was back to back to back with appointments and clients and trying to come up with some new content for you guys. Today was a prime example of what 90 days should feel like. So that starts on Monday. If you have not finished the Insanity Bootcamp, I really, 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 really want you guys finished by Sunday night. That way you get a full grasp of what we're doing because Eric Worre nails it. So if you are still lagging behind, make the time to get it done because that's the difference between a regular Beachbody coach on our main team and you guys. You guys are in this group because you said you want to be leaders. You said you want to be diamond level coaches. You said you want to be the ones that make an impact with this business. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take that extra effort. It's going to take that extra step of commitment to make it happen. So today, all I really wanted to talk about was just a general outline of kind of what I wrote down. And basically what I did was I took the notes I have from Eric Worre in his Insanity Bootcamp, and I paired it with, you guys know I just went to that men's leadership event, which was awesome. You can't even put into words how just incredible and how much it impacted me. So with that, I kind of took the best of both worlds, put them together in just little notepad, filled up one page. And this is kind of like the general feel. These are the things we're going to be focusing on. So the difference between what I want to do with these calls with you guys and what we've been doing, because I've recorded, 60-something calls, just a ridiculous amount. So if you look back at all those calls, it's always me sharing tips and advice on how to sell challenge packs, how to run challenge groups, how to do all this stuff. But you guys as leaders should already know about all that. It's never a matter of how do I work the business. You guys know what to do. You guys know how to do this thing. But what's the difference between doing it and not doing it? It's belief. It's confidence. It's leadership. It's leading by example. It's breaking down those walls that we all have up. That's the difference between the old team calls where I just talked about, here's step 1, 2, and 3 on how to host a challenge group. What we are talking about is true leadership, and through true leadership comes confidence. Just getting rid of that self-doubt, learning to become the best version of yourself. So as a leaders group, we need to focus on up here more than anything. And that's what I took most out of my men's leadership event over in Dallas this last weekend was it comes down to the belief. It does not matter about the step-by-step processes because most of us know what to do. We know that if we want to earn a Success Club trip, we need to hit Success Club every month. We know that to get Success Club, we have to sell challenge packs. We have to get people plugged in with those challenge packs. So it's rarely a matter of how to do stuff anymore. It's just a matter of breaking down these walls that we've put up. It's a matter of getting out of your comfort zone and just doing it. That's the difference between a leader. That's the difference between our group and the main page. So moving forward, just a quick thing, what I jotted down here. Number one is, I'm not going to count numbers because there's like freaking 50 on here. So the first thing is you need to choose your level of commitment. So like I said, this is all prep, and this is all that these 90 days are going to be based on. So right now, before we start, you need to choose your level of commitment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that means you did not watch the Insanity Bootcamp. So go back and watch it if you have not finished that training series. Your levels of commitment, number one is you're going to commit to maybe just 30 minutes a day, working your business, talking to people, inviting, all that kind of stuff. I would consider level one more of kind of a discount coach. You really don't have any interest in building the business, which you guys are in the leaders group, so I know you guys want to do this. So you're either a level 2 or a level 3. A level 2 is somebody who maybe that's the position I started in. I was working full-time for a spa 6 days a week, and I didn't have 40 hours a week to put into this thing. I didn't have 20 hours a week put into this thing. So I was a level 2 at the time. I had other priorities, but I was able to focus maybe 30 to 60 minutes a day and build this thing on the side. Level 3 is all in. Nothing else is on your mind except for these 90 days of absolute building. Because if you truly work this thing for 90 days, get out of your comfort zone for once in your life, you just kick all the bullshit aside and just do it. These 90 days can literally set up your business to be productive, and I mean, you can create an income that you have never even dreamed about over the next couple of years in these 90 days. So it's up to you. Choose level 2 or 3. If you're level 1, you probably shouldn't be in this group. And I've already talked to each of you on a one-on-one basis, so I know exactly where each of you are at. Next up is identify your goals in your offensive playbook. This was something that Tommy Migrant talked about on he was the first one up on stage at this men's leadership event. And the first thing he talked about as a football coach himself, he talks about in the Beachbody world as coaches, we all have different playbooks, right? And he gave the analogies in football. So you have 11 guys that are on the field. If 11 different guys are following 11 different playbooks, they're not going to score a damn thing, right? They're going to get demolished. So that's why we as leaders need to pull together as a team, get on the same playbook, and attack it. Because when you're all facing the same direction, going for the same goal with the same playbook, you achieve far greater results than if you're trying to do this thing on your own in a rogue state of mind. So you need to figure out what playbook you want, right? You need to play offensively. And there's a recording. I forgot who it was. I'm going to find this recording, post it in the group, so I want each of you to listen to it. But Jimmy, Coach Jimmy talks to Tommy Migrant about this. And he talks about, when you look at football, the points are not scored if you are constantly on the defense team. The points are scored when you're offensively going. And our offense is when you're inviting, when you're doing productive things like making videos, blog posts, making content for people, providing some type of free value. That's offense. That's where the points are scored. That's where you start to attract people to you and build an organization, which is what we're here to do. So you need to choose some type of playbook. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube, if it's Instagram, Facebook, challenge groups, if you're doing blog posts, and just choose something. Choose a play and run it. Run it 100%. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, try something else. But you keep working until you find that playbook that works for you. Next up is building your inner circle. So when we start these 90 days, Eric Worre, I love that he touches base on this. So he talks about every successful person, you can reverse engineer their success down to, there's 2 things, but number one and the main one is they recruited about 20 people in a short amount of time. So this is recruiting your inner circle. You guys are all technically my inner circle, right? We have about 10 of us in this group right now, and I should have another 6 to 8 brought onto the team in the next week or 2. So that's my inner circle. That's something I've built because I believe in you guys. I know you guys are the ones who are in this thing 100%. You guys are the ones who are ready to do something with Beachbody as far as building not just an income, but making an impact, building a team, building an organization, building something that matters in your life, building time freedom, building financial freedom. You guys are in that. So you need to be focused on building your inner circle too. And it may not be 20 people because that's a huge number, especially if you're fresh in this game. That's a huge number to go for. But remember, the only thing holding you back is up here. The belief, the confidence, the fear. Just get rid of the fear and face it and go for it. So by building your inner circle, you're building your team. And so let's say you're just coming into this thing. You're ready to rock it, but 20 is an outrageous number. Go for 5. 5 people you can get done in a week if you work your ass off. There is literally no reason why you cannot get 5 people in your inner circle if you are truly working your ass off. These can be discount coaches, but we would prefer to have business builders. So you're looking for business partners. You're looking for your tribe, your people that you can team together and run with this thing. Create your story and your vision. Your story is going to be your single most valuable resource that you can ever have. If you guys are football fans or you've heard of Bo Eden, who was an NFL player, he was actually one of the speakers at our men's retreat. And this guy was incredible. And one of the things that he said at the very end was, you can take all of my skills, you can take all of my money, all my cars, you can take my family, but you know what? You leave me with my story and I will gain it all back within 90 days. Your story is absolutely crucial. So throughout these 90 days, I'm going to be, challenging you guys to figure out what your story is. What are those key points where you had conflict in your life? How did you overcome it? These are what people connect with. If you're sharing your real story, not the fluff and buff, like I was, for me, I can tell people, oh yeah, I was 225 pounds and I lost 50 pounds. Look at me now. Like, no, that's bullshit. That is such a fluff and buff story. If I can tell people, you know what? I was addicted to fast food and I was definitely on the verge of depression. I can't tell you how painful it was for me to show up to my massage job. I couldn't even work on my massage clients without dealing with my own back pain and fatigue. It sucked. But because I did something about it, I'm able to live a life of freedom. I'm able to live a life where I can help other people become pain-free, achieve their goals, lose weight, and do something with their damn life. You need to figure out your story. And we're going to be doing challenges together where we're all going to, get together, whether it be on a team call like this, which I would love. And we're going to do live activities. I'm going to say, do this, this, and this. Cue on some music and we're going to work. Just like Eric Worre did inside of his training. I love that. Because you guys, here's my problem with recordings. And I totally understand, some of us do have other priorities. So we can't make it to the live call all the time. So we have to watch the recording. But my issue with recordings is if you're not live there, I can't see your faces. I can't read off those emotions. And just like Jimmy said, I didn't ever really catch on to this 100% until Jimmy said this in the men's retreat. And he stood up on stage. He's like, you know why I love being on stage? Because I get an emotional feedback from you guys. I know you're right here listening. So if I just simply put up a recording, you may watch it, but you're going to be doing dishes and doing other stuff and you're not focused. And when we're not focused, it's not productive. So you may watch an hour call, an hour training, but if you're not focused, you're not going to get a damn thing out of it. So I challenge you to get in the mindset of everything you do for these 90 days, it needs to be focused. And first and foremost, this is something I'm saying not just as your coach, because like I posted inside the group a couple days back, I am no longer here to be anyone's friend first. I'm here to be a coach because for us leaders to develop into leaders, we need to be coached. We need to be told what we need to hear. So I'm saying this to myself too, because I struggle with this. The Facebook scrolling needs to stop. I definitely fall into the huge hole of using this thing right here. Scroll. and I waste hours and I'm done with it. We need to be focused on what we're doing. If you are on Facebook, you need to be providing a post that's going to lift somebody up in a positive way. You need to be posting inside of your challenge group, inside of our team group, or talking to people. Stop with the scrolling nonsense. Unless you are scrolling with intent to comment on other people's stuff to build that relationship. But it needs to be focused. You guys can see how focused this thing's going to be for 90 days. Next up is I want to do 30. So I want to break these 90 days down into 30-day increments of having themes or topics that we'll focus on. So the first 30 days, we might focus just on confidence in, pretty much confidence as a whole. That can be talking to people, confidence in yourself, confidence in the business, but it's going to be focused on confidence. Month 2, it might be focused on hitting emerald rank. And if you're already an emerald, then going for diamond and recruiting people. That might be the focus of month 2. So all of our team calls, all of our one-on-one calls that we do, everything's going to be focused on that topic for 30-day chunks. And I love what they brought up at this leadership event where they talked about this. And they said, you know what? You don't start P90X and do it for a year, right? Nobody does that. You break it down into chunks. That's why these programs are 21 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Because it gives you a short burst of focused energy into one thing for a result, and then you need to switch it up, right? This business, our mindsets, everything works just like those fitness programs. You can't do P90X for a year straight and not get bored. It's going to happen. When you get bored of something, you lose focus. When you lose focus, it becomes something that's so distant to you that you forget how awesome it felt to be in the trenches and to be doing it. So I really, really want to focus on that. Next one up, I'm just going through what I wrote down. I have not looked at this ahead of time at all. I literally finished up with my client. I still got dirty sheets on the table here. Next up is going to be on the live calls. If you typically have work, and I'm going to do my best to keep these things locked in at 7 o'clock on Thursday nights, and that's 7 o'clock Pacific time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Be on the live calls because I want to be doing stuff with you guys. I don't want to be up here every week like I've been doing the last year and a half where I'm just sitting here like talking for an hour. I don't like doing that. I like to be interactive with people. So like I said, we might do activities. We might, I might get up here and say, okay, our challenge right now today is going to be make a list of 10 people you can talk to. What are you doing? Just tried to sneak in. You want to say hi to the leaders?
Hi.
You can see your ponytail bobbing back there.
I just need it.
Oh, it's so funny. You guys can see that's the difference between these calls, right? We're bringing in the real stuff. No more fluff and buff. We're kind of on the bullshit that we've been doing. We're getting to work. So be on the live calls. If you work, find a way to show up. Like who was it? Tom. You told me. You know what? Hi, what's up? I got hit. So Tom said, you know what, because Tom had mentioned, can we do the call earlier? I said, no, we can't do the call earlier because the majority vote was for 7 o'clock, so we have to go with majority vote. And he said, you know what, I can show up to work early and I can be on the whole thing. I said, awesome, that's what it's about. If you want it, make it happen. If you work, find a way to adjust your schedule if you can. If not, you need to make watching the recording an absolute priority. The second you get off of work or whatever, the next morning, you need to make it a priority. Watch these things. Next up is diamond focus. This is where it gets to be a balancing act. Don't get so caught up in ranks that you lose focus of what we're all truly here for. Because we're all here to help impact people's lives the way that Beachbody has impacted us. Some of us have lost weight. Some of us, like myself, I don't like sharing my weight loss story because, I could say I lost 50 pounds using blah, 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 blah. That just scrapes the surface of what happened. I tell people what changed up here. For once in my friggin' life, I'm proud of myself. For once in my friggin' life, I could wake up excited about something. Not just wake up groggy, shower, go to work, come back home, eat shit, watch TV, go to bed. No, that's what I used to do. I can tell people about what changed up here. So that's what we're here to do, is to help pay that forward to somebody else. Don't let rank overcome your entire mindset. Because I'll share a story that Jimmy shared with us, which I thought was awesome. So the coolest thing about this leadership event was it was independently put on. Corporate was not the one who put this on. It was Coach Jimmy and Dave Ward were the two that put this on. So I mean, there were F-bombs every other sentence, and it's a room full of 450 guys. I just love how raw and real it was. They cut past all the BS that sometimes corporate can put out. So they got down to the raw stuff, and Jimmy talks about, if you don't know who Coach Jimmy is, Jimmy Hayes Nelson, look him up on YouTube and Facebook. But Jimmy was inside, he was one of the cast members of the original Insanity. So Jimmy talked about how when he was in those videos, he was just starting out as a coach. He was not making any money. His wife had to go back to work after having their baby. They were broke, and they had to hire, daycare and a sitter and all that kind of stuff. So Jimmy talked about how after he did those Insanity videos, everybody knew who he was. He was super popular, right? On all the Beachbody events, everyone's like, oh my gosh, there's Jimmy. I saw you in Insanity. That's awesome. People on the street would stop him. But you know what he said? If I can take it all back, I would rather nobody know my name, but I was able to provide for my family, to bring my wife home to be with our baby boy. And being a new father myself and being in that same situation where Trista's at work part-time right now, you can bet your ass that hit me hard. I would rather nobody know my name, meaning rank, all that kind of stuff. I would rather nobody know my name, but I'm able to provide for my family. That's why you can't get caught up in rank. But I will say on the flip side of that, if you are focused on a rank, typically that is going to force you out of your comfort zone to talk to more people, to spread yourself and build a network. So that's where it gets to be a fine balance, guys. Go for the goal, but learn to really watch yourself, because if you get to the point where you're looking at diamond and you're just trying to sell to people at that point, that's where you need to say, okay, I need to put on the brakes real quick, reevaluate my life, my goals, why I'm talking to people, and then go from there. And I will tell you guys, if you just seriously focus on helping people, your rank and your income is going to grow with time. I'm going to bust through this list as quickly as I can. 10 in play in 3 vital behaviors. 10 in play means you have an active list at all times of 10 people you are talking with. You are talking to them, you're inviting them, you're 10 people you're actively working with. And then 3 vital behaviors, we all should know this one by now. It's beat over our heads every day, but you know why it's talked about so much? Because it works. It really does work if you work it. And I mean, I'm not the only, I've definitely been guilty of trying to be a coach and help people, but I haven't been following stuff myself. So 3 vital behaviors. Number 1 is be a product of the product, which means you better be following a program of some sort. How can you expect to preach health and fitness in these programs to other people if they turn around and ask you, what are you doing? And you better have an answer for that. So be following a program. I'm a big fan of do the programs as they are. I've tried to do crazy hybrids and all that stuff in the past, and I always fall off track. So, I mean, the programs are put together for a reason how they are. Like right now, I am on week 4, day 5 of P90X3. No, day 4. Yeah. Week 4, day 4, P90X3. I can tell you exactly what day I'm on, where my struggles have been, but I've had awesome results so far. So be on a program. Start it. If you have not started it, start tomorrow. 3 vital behaviors. So that's number 1. Drink your Shakeology is with that, of course. And then number 2, personal development. This is a huge one, guys. Maybe I wrote something down here about that. Nope. So each of these things I'm talking about right here are topics. So I can do a separate call on each one of them, break it down into more specific. So I'll touch base on personal development next time. So personal development, be engaged with something, audiobook, videos, or an actual book. I'm a fan of actually reading and taking notes, but if audio works better for you, go for it. Use audible.com. That's a great resource. But be engaged with it every single day, because that's how you build your mental strength. And through your mental strength, you learn to be more confident. And then last one is invite, invite, invite. We need to be inviting the crap out of everybody, because that's what this 90-day push is about, right? That's why it's only 90 days, because you can't physically and mentally push hard for more than 90 days without getting burnt out. But for 90 days, you push. And throughout these 90 days, if you invite 500 people, you're going to have a pretty sweet looking business at the end of these 90 days. Next up is 30-day mentorship. If you want to work out, obviously you guys are my leaders. You get my time. My time only goes to those who are showing that they want to work, who are not only showing that they want to work, that are actually producing results, that are actually doing something, not just sitting behind a phone going, here's the thing with check-ins, guys. I've done check-ins for a long time, and if I hear the same story every single week, eventually I just say, you know what, unfortunately, I'm not seeing any progress out of you for the last 2 months. We're going to have to stop right now for check-ins until you can show some type of improvement. So take the advice I give and put your own twist on it and use it. Do something with it. So a 30-day mentorship is personally you and I get on the phone. Maybe it's once a week, twice a week. We text every day, whatever it takes. But I look at your business. I can look inside your back office. I can look at your business, where you're at, where you're struggling, and we can find what dials need to change. And those dials come down to the how, the what, the who, and the why. So we look at those 4 dials, and maybe it's I don't know how to make videos. So we would adjust that. I would teach you how to make videos, and then you could start going from there. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't have my why in check quite yet. So we would obviously talk a little bit more, figure out what your driving force is, why you really want this thing. And we would change that dial a little bit. So that's how that 30-day mentorship group is going to go. So it's only going to be 30 days. If you want to hop on the phone once a week, twice a week, whatever works best for you, we'll do it for 30 days. At the end of those 30 days, because of adjusting those dials every week, we should have some type of result out of it. Team unity. One of my favorite ones these last couple months, ever since I had my mental shift from last year. We need to be a team. We need to be here every single day. Check in with the group every single day, because I can tell you firsthand experience from running challenge groups for over 2 years. The ones who are all excited and temporarily motivated, that want to be part of a team, they check in with the group every day for like a week, and then all of a sudden they disappear. It is 100% up to you to plug in and put in the effort to be a part of this team, right? It's just like being a part of a family. You have to show up. You have to do some dishes, even though you don't want to. Maybe that's doing like a daily task I'm going to be posting. We don't like doing the chores sometimes, but it's part of being a family. Okay? I want us to be close as we can get as an actual like Beachbody family, because that's what we're here for. So plug in with the team every single day. You guys add each other as friends, comment on each other's stuff, get to know each other. That's what we're here for. Heavy focus on personal development, because with your mindset, it needs to be challenged. If you are stuck, how do I word this? Look at where you were at 6 months ago. If you are still in the same spot, it's because this wasn't getting challenged. That's what happens with personal development. Just like you do a fitness program, right? You're doing push-ups and pull-ups and all this crazy stuff. It's challenging your body, so your body has to improve and get better and stronger. If you're not challenging this by getting out of your comfort zone, reading personal development every day, not just reading personal development, but doing it. Taking what you learn, taking what inspires you and doing it, trying new things. That's where this grows. It gets better and stronger every day. So I challenge you for these 90 days to do stuff you would not normally do, because by doing stuff you would not normally do, you're going to get results you've never had before. Next up is identify your strengths. And I'm a big fan of this lately, and they did a heavy focus on this. Don't worry about your weaknesses. If you suck at blogging, don't blog. If you're great at making videos and getting your message across, make videos. Read personal development that's about sharing your message and motivation. That's my thing. I'm horrible at blogging. I've tried it several times, and I've kind of just given up on it for now, because you know what? It's a weakness. If I focus on my weakness, that's time I could be using to master my strengths. It's just like John C. Maxwell talks about. If you take an axe and you go out and hit 1,000 different trees in one spot each, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you go to the big oak You hit that thing 1,000 times, that baby's coming down. Focus on 1 to 3 things that you're good at. Make a list of what you know you're good at. Maybe it's blogging, YouTube videos. If you're good at challenge groups, if you're good with communicating one-on-one with people, make a list of what you're good at and focus on those. Next up is cultivate. And I love this word. PJ McClure is a guy that I'll be talking about, but he brought this up. Cultivate. That means to grow and nurture, right? When we get our own teams together, when we get customers into our group, we're creating an environment. We're creating an atmosphere. We are there to cultivate. We're there to help grow and nurture these guys. Faithful in character. Love this one because it's something I've struggled with as a people pleaser. If you feel that you have to wear a different mask basically that means if you act a certain way or talk a certain way around your family, but you are wearing a different mask or character around your group of friends, and then you're wearing a different mask and character around your coworkers or on your Facebook page. Most common one is a lot of people will act really, really, really outgoing on a Facebook page, and then you meet them in person and go, wow, that's not how I was expecting your personality to be. Find who you are and act that way all the time. And the hardest part about doing that is caring what people think. And here's my advice for those guys. Fuck them. Stop caring about what people think. And it's something I've been doing recently since this event. And I tell you what, I feel friggin' awesome. I feel free. And the coolest thing is, like I said, there was 450 guys and 15 of them were speakers on stage. You can bet your ass they were dropping F-bombs and all these curse words. And they said, so what? I don't care. It's part of who I am. These are sentence enhancers. It's part of me. And I love that. Just find who you are. Who's that baseline person that you love to be? Who are you when you're by yourself? Act that way all the time. Choose your adventure. That comes back to rooting back to YouTube videos, blogging, all that kind of stuff. Choose an adventure, explore in it, find out if you're good at it, and stick with it. If you're not good at it, choose a different adventure. If you go out for a hike and you hate it, would you go out and do it again the next week? Probably not. But if you go down and instead of hiking through the woods, you decide, I'm going to go walk along the beach, and you love it, guess what? You'll do more of that. It's the same thing with kind of these different activities we can do as coaches. Find what you're good at and love and keep doing it. Master it. Get really good at it. This is my favorite one out of the whole men's leadership event. And I can literally talk about this one for like 2 hours. I'm not even going to go there yet. I'm going to make some new videos based on this. Hidden hours. It's easy to show up when somebody like myself, I can wear the leader diamond cap and I can come up here and talk to you guys on a call and say, hey, okay, let's go out and do this. Like I can be the leader and, inspire you guys to go do stuff. But what are you doing when no one's there to push you? What are you doing in those hidden hours, right? Quick story about going back to this guy, Bo Eden, who was a safety in the NFL. He talks about how he went from being the smallest player in his whole team to becoming one of the world's best safeties. And he talks about how somebody had asked him, how did you go from being the scrawny runt of the team, getting kicked out of practice his second day? How did you go from that to winning, becoming one of the world's best? And he said, because you did not see my hidden hours. You did not see that for 15 years, I was up at 5 a.m. practicing on my own time. It's because of those hidden hours that I won the championship. And I love that because it's the exact same thing in our business. If you want to get better at talking to people, you need to be practicing. It's those hidden hours. What are you doing when nobody's pushing you? Because that's where you need to learn to push yourself as a leader. So again, I could talk about that for hours. I'm not even going to touch base on it now. This one is big too. Be coachable. And I tell you what, one of the biggest reasons I came out of that event impacted was the fact that before I went into it, I sat in my hotel room before leaving to go to that event. And I said, I I need to come into this thing with an open heart, with an open mind. I need to absorb all the information, and I need to apply all of it. And especially as somebody, I've been in this thing for over 6 years, guys. It's easy for me to be stubborn and to be stuck in my ways because I've done things a certain way for a long time, like challenge groups. I have ran challenge groups for over 2 years. I'm very comfortable with it. I'm decent at it. And coming out of that event, I can tell you how much of an impact it had on me. I am no longer doing challenge groups for now because I went into it with an open heart and an open mind, a willingness to be coachable. Because I've talked to a lot of coaches where they say, Chaz, I'm struggling with this. So I say, why don't you try this, this, and this? Next week we get on the phone. Chaz, I'm struggling with this. And I say, did you try what I said? Well, no. That's not being coachable. That's being stubborn. I can tell you right now, stubbornness will not get you far. There's a reason I've been stuck at diamond rank for the last 3 years because I have not been coachable myself. I've gotten in a routine of coaching and sharing what's worked for me, but I forgot about the fact that I need to be coachable. I need to keep growing. I need to keep trying new things. That's what I got out of this event was I am now open and coachable. So throughout these 90 days, guys, I'm going to be sharing activities and tasks for you guys to do. And I just challenge you to be coachable. Try something that maybe you have never tried before. Identify your market. That's another big one I'm going to touch base on in a separate video. You need to identify who is your ideal client or who is your ideal coach. And the other thing too with this is, I forgot to write this down, I just thought of it, is write down a couple qualities that you would look for in, if you were to look up to the best coach in the world, right? Write down the qualities of a great leader. And those are the qualities you need to strive for. Right? If you're looking for somebody who is passionate, excited, if you're looking for somebody who is faithful in character, who doesn't put on a different mask in different groups, they're the same person all the time, those are things you need to strive to be because that's your ideal coach, which means subconsciously you want to become that. So those are things I highly recommend you guys mark down. And on the flip side of that, who would your ideal customer be? You know, if you are a stay-at-home mom who wants to focus on other stay-at-home moms, you're not going to be taking on 80-year-old guys as clients. Like for me, I love to work with people who have not started yet. I love to work with people who are still stuck in the life paralysis, right? They're going to a job they hate, they're overweight, they're depressed. I love to work with those people and watch those eyes open up as they start to realize their potential, as they start to feel better about themselves. My ideal client is not necessarily somebody who's in great shape looking to do an extra program. You know, they're fun to work with, but that's not my ideal client. So by focusing on your market, that's who you start to attract. Milestones. Throughout these 90 days, you guys need to be setting milestones. And this comes down to rank. It comes down to how much income you want to drive at the end of these 90 days. It comes down to if you want to hit Success Club. It comes down to how many people you want to invite. Again, we're going to be talking about a lot of this stuff on different things. So that's a basic outline. And the last ones I wrote down, which are topics. These are going to be kind of topics we can talk about on these next calls. Because like I said, I don't want these calls to be so much me get up here and doing what I've been doing. I don't want these to be so much me coming up and just talking about how to do stuff. Because a lot of us know how to do it. And there's enough resources in our back office and all that stuff. You can look up how to do anything. Run challenge groups. You can look up how to make videos, all that kind of stuff. You don't need to know the hows. You've heard it enough. We need to dive deeper into the emotions behind this stuff. What's holding us back? So topics are know your business, belief, your story, confidence, generosity, hustle, and sacrifices. These are the kind of things we need to be talking about because without figuring all of these out, it doesn't matter how much you know our comp plan. It doesn't matter how well you host a challenge group. It doesn't matter how well you talk to people. What matters is having the belief that you can do it, having the confidence, learning to kick fear to the side, and just showing up and doing the work. So with that, that's my 90-day push. Does that sound good to you guys? Hopefully. Cool. So like I said, this is a basic layout. There's so much we can dive into, guys. Between the Eric Worre training and what I took out of the men's leadership event, I took pages of notes. So these are all topics. I can make a separate video on all these things. But with that, I'm pumped up. I'm excited, and I'll end on this. And this is another big thing that they talked about inside this event is your relationship to practice needs to change. What that means is showing up every day and doing the daily disciplines and commitments. And if you did not see my video I posted yesterday, I went out and I did a 3-mile run yesterday for the first time in over a year because I do not run. And it happened not because I was motivated, but because I knew it had to become a daily discipline because I have now set the new goal to run a half marathon in July. And I knew that I had to backtrack, right? I set the goal. I want to run a half marathon in July. So I had to backtrack. What do I need to do today to get to that goal? Your relationship to the daily practice needs to change because a lot of us wait to be motivated. A lot of us wait to be inspired. I don't give a damn how motivated and inspired you are after listening to a call. I don't give a damn if you watch a video and you're like, yeah, I'm pumped up. Let's do this. That's all bullshit. Motivation is crap, which sounds weird to say, right? But here's why. Motivation is crap because it's temporary. It lasts for minutes, hours, days, maybe weeks. Your daily disciplines and commitments, that is what lasts a lifetime. Your relationship to your daily practice, if it's broken, you're going to skip workouts. You're going to say, I don't feel like talking to people today. You're going to be unmotivated. And you're going to cop out. You're going to be weak. These are the things we need to overcome. So if you can do anything from right now moving forward, you need to look at your relationship to what the daily practice includes. Going back to Bo Eden, he shared the story about Jerry Rice, right? Everyone should know who Jerry Rice is, world famous quarterback. So Jerry Rice would be the first one to practice every morning, and he would be the last one to leave the field. Because his relationship to practice was that committed. It was a non-negotiable. If practice started at 6, he was there at 5. He showed up for the daily practice, and through that, he was one of the world's best. So that was the biggest thing I was thinking about yesterday when I was doing those 3 miles is why am I doing this right now? And it's because I didn't feel like it. If you guys watched the video I did yesterday on my Coach Chaz fitness page, I did not feel like doing that at all. I actually pressed play on my P90X workout and I stopped the workout because I didn't feel like it. I could not get going. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to do a mile walk just so I get my heart up a little bit and I can get some fresh air. And after that mile, I just started jogging. Not because I wanted to, but because it was the daily practice I needed to do. So when I show up to that championship game on that half marathon day, I'm bringing A game. I got nothing but A game. I don't believe in B and C game anymore. It's A game. Turned on. That was the difference between it. So moving into these 90 days, you need to focus on these daily practices, these daily disciplines, because that is where results lie. Motivation is crap. Motivation is always temporary. We can all watch a call and, maybe you're listening to this right now and you're like, yeah, I'm pumped up. Let's do this. I can't wait for Monday. I don't care how excited you are. I care about the work that you commit to. I care whether or not you follow through. Because if you make promises to this team and to yourself and you choose to be lazy more than you choose to be productive, that's on you. That's where the daily discipline comes in. So aside from that, that's my spiel. I'm done. RNG crew, I love you guys. I'm excited for this thing. Aside from that, questions, comments? I've been up here talking long enough.
I have a question and
What's
comments. I get the whole Eric Worre thing, but my question is, how do I create a sense of urgency through Facebook? Because, you have your warm market and necessarily your cold market. So let's say I really didn't know you, and I was like, hey, let's chat sometime. But I just feel that most people would say, what's that about? Saying
Mm-hmm.
There's not really like that. All right, let's call, let's get together, let's do this kind of thing. So how would you create a sense of urgency through Facebook?
Are you talking about Facebook chat or just posting?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have a lot of people's phone numbers that are on my Facebook page,
Yeah.
So if I'm like, hey, I got this new business, or I'm a coach, and I kind of want to connect with you about, what exactly is this coaching thing? I want to share a video with you, kind of thing. But it's like, I just feel through Facebook, it's not very like
Personable.
personable or sense of urgency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally get that. Especially with Facebook, like the chat is super convenient, but the crappy thing is, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 messages on my Facebook I can see right now. Those are all messages from this morning that I kind of saw, but I never replied back to. And that's what people can do to us, right?
Right.
They can kind of see the little window and see, hey, I need to chat with you. When do you have time? And they could just say, I'm not going to mess that guy back. So it's tough. But my one thing I would say in that case is you should never be saying, and this is where, Eric Worre is very intense with, you have to think about where he came from too. He did not come from our world of social media. He came from the old school method. Do some research on how they used to network market back in the day. It was literally like walking up to people in the store saying, hey, I just started this business. Would you like to know more about that? Like they did a lot of cold stuff. So your cold market people, turn them into warm market people, meaning you have formed them. You've talked to them. You've gotten to know them. And so when it gets to the point, like what I've been doing the last couple of weeks to start to get the ball rolling, because I have my 10 in play list. Actually, I have my 30 in play. I'm working on a list of 50 because I'm freaking going big this time. So I have a list of 30 people, and what I've been doing with each of them is I'm forming them. And as I get to know them a little bit better, I'm asking about their goals. And I can say, you know what, I actually just started this business initiative, and I'd love to get on the phone and chat with you if you're interested. And I've had so far like 3 or 4 people that are on the books for this week. Not everyone's going to say yes. Some people are going to ask, what's this about? And you can share a third-party tool. It's what we have videos for. So feel free to share it with them, because some people are, I'm kind of that way. If somebody sends me a message and says, hey, call me, I need to chat with you, I'm always like, what's this about? Like, I don't want to call you up if I don't know what it's about. So feel free to let them know up front and just say, I started this 90-day business initiative. I'm looking for 20 partners. Would that be something you'd like more info on?
And I can also use that with my warm market.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, use it with your warm market. And then I love the text method that he gave us with the hot market too. That was brilliant. Loved it. Just the wording of it is awesome, because it doesn't make it sound like you're selling. It's like, hey, you've been supporting me this whole time. I just started this thing. Would you like to support me in purchasing this so I can gather this? So you can word it all kinds of different ways. Like one thing I'm thinking about is, if you want to focus on Beachbody on Demand, for example, with Shakeology, you can send out kind of that text message or even on a Facebook message and say, hey, I just started this business initiative. I'm looking for 10 people that will try this product out for 30 days and give me feedback as a testimonial. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Right.
You can send that thing easy. So hopefully that helps out a little bit. That's kind of my thinking with it.
All right. Thanks.
No problem. Hello, Mr. Paul.
What's up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm late.
That's all good, man. I got this thing recorded.
Okay, I'm late. I was like, oh, cool, and I don't even have a shirt on. I'm sorry about that, guys.
No worries. We're all family here. I've seen you bounce around Facebook without a shirt. All right, cool. Well, that is all I got to talk about today. So if you guys have questions, comments. You guys excited for these 90 days?
Yeah.
It's weird how it's exciting to do stuff that scares the crap out of you. Like, we all know these 90 days are going to kick our butts because we're going to push ourselves. But it's going to be good, man. I'm telling you, you push for 90 days, this thing's going to be crazy. You know what? And honestly, if we're starting, like I said, I want to get 20 people in this group. Obviously, it's going to be tough to get that done by Monday. But even if they start a few weeks late, if we start with 20 people, I'm going to say 6 to 8 will finish. 6 to 8 of us are going to finish. And it's the exact story that Jimmy Nelson told us at the men's training event. And he talked about how he just finished a half marathon. This is where I kind of got inspired to do one. So he finished a half marathon that last weekend. And he did the same thing that I'm going to tell you guys. So he looked at all of us in the crowd, right? There's 450 guys. And he said, when I did that half marathon, we were all at the starting line, right? We're all looking side to side thinking, yeah, we're all on the same team. These guys got our backs. We all have the same goal. We're going to be focused on these goals. And we all start, that gun goes off, and we all start. And they're running and running and running. All of a sudden, halfway through, looks to his side again and thinks, okay, we had a few people that gave up. We had a few people that are slacking behind. But there's still a few of us that are driving forward with that same goal, pushing. And then next thing you know, he comes up on that final turn, and he's crossing the finish line, and he's looking to his side going, there's only a few of us that finish this thing. Half the people quit. Half the people decide to slack, and they're hanging way behind. We're the ones that finish this thing. So it's the same thing that I'm going to tell you guys is right now we're all on the start line. Right now we're all excited. Right now we're ready to do this. But when the work gets tough, when you don't feel motivated, that's where your make it or break it decision is going to come in. Because if you choose to be lazy, if you choose not to do your calls, if you choose not to invite, if you choose to skip your workout, not drink your Shakeology, not to post about it, not to do the video, you're not going to make it. There's going to be few of us that make it to the finish line. I want as many of us to do it as possible, but I can tell you right up front, not all of us are going to make it. And with how focused this group is, if it gets to the halfway point and you haven't posted and you haven't checked in, it's absolutely nothing personal. I love each and every one of you, but I will just remove you from the group. We have the main team page for the people who are not fully committed. This is for the group who's committed. You guys want goals? This is the work it takes to get them. This is the real stuff. For any of us that have gone through a physical transformation, like when I lost 50 pounds, that shit sucked. There were days where I slipped, I ate junk food. There were days where it's like I was going through this mental battle of, do I work out? Do I eat this? Blah, like, you're going to go through those same things. There's a lot of behind the scenes that goes on in a transformation that people don't share. Welcome to the grind, guys. Welcome to the grind. This has been Coach Chaz. Peace out, crew. I'm proud of you guys. Man. I will get this recorded, and I will post the link inside of the group. I'm going to create a file up top, so if you go to our group page, up top it's going to say files. Click on it, and I'll have team recordings posted in there, so I'll have all the links to all these things. So, yeah, no problem. You can go ahead and that would be awesome, yeah, get the wife signed up. I could tell you firsthand experience, too, as get your wife signed up, because as your team grows and your network grows, I can teach you how to stack the business center to where you can actually make twice as much on team bonus by having your wife inside of that spot. That's getting into kind of the detailed portion of the comp plan, but yeah, that's something you and I can chat about. But yeah, there's definitely a way to do it. So yeah, we'll definitely connect and get you going on that route. Aside from that, guys, I'm proud of you guys for being on the live call. I know it was a late one, but you know what? Just like Eric Worre talked about sacrifices, this is one of them. We're going to be putting in some late nights together. We're going to be putting in some early mornings. So, I mean, I'll be up here for a midnight call if you guys want to be on here. But I'm committed. I hope you guys are too. I'll see you in the grind. Peace out, crew.